Another week of long hair, not having a haircut. I'm going tomorrow, next week. There will be nice, clean shaven, proper hair, right? I'm sorry. So this week I just wanted to do, this is almost like a bit of an informative professional video in that I have a lot of MRI scans with the condition I have to have a lot of them. And over the many dozens that I've had, you get the routine down. You get to know what's what. They give you little pamphlets and it kind of tells you a bit about what it's going to be like. The stuff that they tell you is accurate, but there's no like step-by-step guide of this is what's going to happen. And a lot of anxiety can come from just not knowing what's going to happen. So I thought I'd talk you all through the process one by one. Those of you who are going to have an MRI, gives you a bit more of an idea of what it's going to be like. Those who aren't ever going to have an MRI, let you know what the process is like for all of us who do. So sympathy. And that is what I want. Here are the 10 steps to having an MRI scan. Number 1, when you go in, make sure that all your metallic jewellery and everything else, anything metallic, is far away from your body. Not a good start, it's telling you not to worry about an MRI, but just make sure that you don't have anything metallic on you because that could get very messy very quickly. Number 2 is that when you go in, you'll either have to have a normal scan, which is just they put you in the tube and they just scan the bit that they want to scan, or they have to give you some dye. If they have to give you dye, they'll put a cannula in your hand or your arm. In fact, I think it is just usually your hand. This can sting, a little bit shit, is a bit painful, but once that's in, that's the painful bit out of the way. They'll flush some saline solution through it, which is just salty water. It should just feel a little bit cold. If it stings, if it like really stings, let them know, and it means that there's something gone awry with the cannula, in which case you need to get it redone, which is shit, but it's better than it going in all the wrong holes. Number 3 is you walk into the room and the thing that you lay down on is called a couch, which is, I've only found out doing the research for this video. The hard, plastic, uncomfortable thing that you lay down on is called a couch, which is funny because it alludes to some sense of comfort, but it's literally just a plastic thing that you lay down with like army style thin plasticky cushions to hold you up. Not comfy. So they'll ask you to sit down, lay down on the couch, plastic bed. If you've got a head one, they'll put a head thing on you to keep you in place. Number 4, once you're strapped in, they'll hook your cannula up to the dye machine. The dye machine that does it, it has like 3 plungers. And again, apologies, this is meant to be like a comforting video. This is just the worst analogy. It just looks like the ones that they use in films when the people are having the lethal injection. Don't be freaked out by it, but that was the first thought that I had when I went in. And just know, it's not that, it's fine. It's just the galladinium, I think is the name of the dye, and that's just what they put in the little plungers, so they don't have to pull you out, put the dye in themselves and put you back in. Just makes it quicker and easier and you can get out of there faster. On that subject, obviously you'll have like a tube, and I would recommend asking them if you can just hold it in your hand, just loosely, because then you can know that when you do get rolled in, you can just hold it and make sure it doesn't snag. In the other hand, they also give you like a panic button, which is basically just like a squeezy toy almost, and if you squeeze that, it just sounds a buzzer, and then they can come in and get you if it's all a bit too much, if you're feeling claustrophobic or don't feel well or whatever. Just give that a little squeeze when they give it to you to make sure it works. It doesn't like set off blaring alarms, it's just like a That's the best way to describe it. Imitate the noise. So you're laying down, you've got your tubes, you've got your panic button, and then they'll put headphones or earplugs on you. Now, this is the key. This is something that it took me many times to learn, is that you really have to make sure that they're comfortable and make sure that they're sitting right on your head, like your ears don't feel weird. There's a kind of general rule when you are laying down actually, is that make sure everything is comfortable, that you're comfy how you are, there's nothing that's kind of rubbing, and you're just as zen as possible, because especially with the headphones and the earphones, like it's amazing how something so small can become so annoying. Don't feel bad for asking them to readjust them or just make sure everything's comfortable. Like you have to stay still for the whole time you're in there to make sure that they get the images properly, otherwise they have to do them again. Comfort is key. That's pretty much all the prep done. You know, you're there, got your tube one hand, got your panic button the other, your headphones are extremely comfortable, everything else feels great, and then the person will tell you not to worry. Then they'll bugger off behind a kind of 6-inch glass blast door, which is great. It's really comforting to see that. They're like, it's nothing to worry about. And then they kind of lock you in and it makes the noise like Star Trek doors, and they're like, whoosh, and lock you in there. Don't panic, it's fine. So number 7 is they'll then raise you up on the thing and slide you into the tube. And if you are going all the way in to the tube, obviously it's open-ended, but like with an abdomen one, you have to be smack bang in the center of the middle of the scanner. And there is only about a couple of inches between your face and the roof, the scanner hole. It's a very technical video. It can be quite claustrophobic, but it is quite good to know how kind of near you are beforehand, just so you can you're not expecting masses of space when you go in, and it's actually quite kind of near your face. But I've got the habit of just as soon as they roll me in, I just close my eyes and try and go into this kind of floppy, like not sleeping or like sleepy, trying to just go to a happy place. The next step, number 8, is they'll turn the machine on, and the only way I can describe what an MRI machine actually sounds like in the best way that I know how is it sounds a bit like this. Yeah, exactly. Sounds like dubstep. I think that's where all the greatest dubstep artists get their inspiration from, is MRI machines, because it is just literally exactly the same noises, but just put into a better sequence. That was the first thing when I first had an MRI scan. I was like, oh wow, like I listened to this when I was a kid. This is great. Bit of familiarity if you haven't listened to dubstep before because you're not a teenager in the 2000s. Go and give it a listen, and that will give you the best idea of what it sounds like when you are in an MRI scanner. So number 9, next step. This is obviously dependent on what sort of scan you're having. For a scan of the abdomen, they ask you to do a lot of like breathing exercises, kind of holding your breath and breathing in, breathing out slowly, that sort of thing. And while they're doing that, they'll warn you, they'll tell you, right, we're about to do the dye. And inject the dye if you're having the dye. The lethal injection machine will go pfft. Not that you'll hear it because you've got headphones and earplugs in, and it should basically feel in your arm like your arm is cold, and then your mouth will kind of taste metallic, like you're chewing on a penny. That's normal. If your arm starts to hurt or burn or something, then that's not normal. And squeeze your little buzzer and whip them out. Whip them out? Whip them out! Squeeze your little buzzer and they'll come and whip you out. It shouldn't be painful, it should just feel like a little bit of a tingle, and your mouth will taste a bit funny. So, final step, after you've done that, you'll be pretty much done. They usually do the dye towards the end of the scan. They usually give you a bit of a warning, like 5-10 minute warning, be like, we've just got to do a few more exercises, and then you're good to go. They'll lower you out, take you out, tell you to sit up, tell you to have a drink of water if you need to. They'll take you into the next room through the ginormous blaster doors, take your cannula out, tell you how long your results should be, and they'll send you on your merry way. One tip that I found, especially if you're having the dye, is to drink lots of water afterwards, because you're essentially got like radioactive stuff in your blood, and that's never good for your body. So that's pretty much it. Joel's top 10 guide tips guiding you through the steps of an MRI scan. Let me know if you've had an MRI scan and if there's anything that I've missed out that I haven't experienced that you've experienced. If you're going to have an MRI scan, then hopefully this will give you a little bit of an insight. You won't have to worry as much. It's fine, you'll be okay. NHS or any other charities, if you're watching and want to commission me to do more informative videos about medical procedures for the ute, then hit me up and we'll arrange some numbers. Or I'll do it for free, because that'd be what a good person did, wouldn't it? Otherwise, like, subscribe, share this, watch this, and I will see you next Tuesday.